Cadillac, Michigan. The name of this town in west central Michigan is forever etched into the lore of history. On October 9th and 10th, 1975, KISS took over Cadillac and forged a bond with the city and its people that continues 50 years later. The story of KISS and Cadillac is more than just rock and roll lore, it's Americana. Who would have thought that a band from the streets of New York City on the verge of stardom could have come to a small Midwestern town and united everyone, young and old, under the banner of the KISS Army? For this video series about the 1975 KISS trip to Cadillac, I'm going to be covering all the sites in chronological order from the time the band arrived through their departure from the middle of the Cadillac High School football field in a helicopter. Part 1 will cover Thursday, October 9th, including the band's arrival, photo shoots around town, and their takeover of the high school and football field. Based on this map here of the state of Michigan, you can see where Cadillac is located. It's about roughly a 3-hour drive from Detroit. This was my first trip to Cadillac, and one of the first things I noticed is how little so many of the sites where KISS visited have changed. The first location on the agenda, however, was torn down years ago, the Cadillac Motor Lodge, where the band stayed during their time here. Located on Highway 55 on the south shore of Lake Mitchell, this was a motel very common to the style of the 1960s and 70s. I'm now standing in the spot where the motor lodge where KISS stayed in 1975 in Cadillac, Michigan once stood. You can still see where the foundations of the buildings used to be. I'm in the old parking lot. The band arrived here at the Cadillac Motor Lodge around noon on Thursday, October 9th. Once here, they put on their makeup and costumes, posed for photos around the grounds of the lodge, and then, around 2:15, piled into a convoy of limousines and headed to downtown Cadillac. The band and their entourage took the scenic 10-minute drive along the north rim of Lake Cadillac past the high school, arriving at City Hall at the corner of West Mason and Mitchell Streets. In short order, this street corner would be immortalized by photographers Finn Costello and Waring Abbott, among others, with a series of photographs that began to tell the story of the band's visit to the city. The limos parked on West Mason Street. The band got out and ascended the steps of City Hall for the first series of photos. From here, they walked to the corner of Mitchell Street and the firehouse for what would become some of the most iconic images from the 2 days.
So behind me you can see a very famous building. This was multiple photos taken here in front of, this used to be the fire department here, so you've seen all those famous shots of the band on the fire engine, things like that. Multiple others, Gene balancing the policeman's cap on his nose, things like that. That was all the meter made. All that was right out here in front. And then right there on the side, that used to be the old town hall, and there were photos taken in that little archway you see there. There were also multiple photos taken there, photos of them getting in and out of the limousines down this street here. So yeah, pretty famous spot in history, and you probably can't hear a word I'm saying because of these trucks.
One thing to note here is that back in 1975, Mason Street ran all the way to Lake Drive on Lake Cadillac. You can see this building here was actually not there in 1975. From here, KISS got back in their limousines and made the short drive to the high school. As Cadillac High School is still a working school, no one is allowed to just walk in, so I was not able to get video of some of the areas like the classrooms where the band met certain members of the student body, only in the hallways around the gymnasium. After meeting with the football team and cheerleaders, KISS and the students, along with the entire marching band, headed out to the football field. Here they interacted more with the band, ran mock football plays, and posed for tons more photos. At 5 o'clock, after spending about 2 hours in and around the school grounds with students and faculty, the band left the field for sound check to get ready for the evening's concert.
That's the shot right there. Make sure you guys, when we see your faces.
Here.
They're truly one of the most iconic songs in rock and roll history. The bomb in the city was the cheapest stuff is all I need. Get me back on my feet again.
Well, that's going to bring us to the end of part 1 of Kiss and Cadillac. Thanks as always for watching, liking, supporting the channel, and most importantly sharing with other Kiss fans. I really appreciate you guys. I will see you again in part 2. Take care.